in the flesh. Yes, yes. So many of us are joined tonight in our commitment. As I said, can I just say, let us close our eyes for a few moments. It is time to find some kind of connection to resentment. We all know resentment. We feel it in our communications with others. We see it in a stranger sometimes. We find resentment in our hearts for our set of circumstances. We find resentment in our heart and in our mind for who we were brought up with, for conversations that we had or didn't have, for the way that we were treated, for the strange connections with others that gave us a sense of others crossing boundaries and impinging their light upon ours, their energy. What is that sense that we find in our bodies that when we recall, it brings us down? We resent ourselves too. We resent our weight. We resent our choices. We hold in our hearts some kind of bondage to those things that have meant that we were less than perfect. We have felt victims. We have felt insecurity. We have felt pain. We have felt hurt. We have felt so many things through so many different situations and connections with others throughout our lives. It is strange how it emanates from our bodies as well as in our minds. Yes. What is for me to sit and speak of resentment is difficult because we are so often speaking of love. We are given opportunity to speak of love and say, oh, if only we loved everything. Let us forgive, let us love, let us find compassion and healing in our souls. Let us stop judging. And yet it doesn't dissolve that sense in our bodies and in our minds. This is an extraordinary power, isn't it? Yes. Can I swap over to the PowerPoint? St. Augustine says to us that resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for another person to die. We hold it in our hearts and yet we know it is wrong. We know it is binding our lives down. We are fully aware of its poison in our system. Someone once said, it is not the snake bite that kills you. It is the venom that is in our veins. This is an extraordinary image for all of us. How do we get rid of the resentment that lingers in our bodies. We pray about it, we uplift it. We ask God to dissolve this sense of pain in ourselves, and we know that we want to forgive. We know that it is right to forgive. We know that it's right to let it go, as Di so often sings. Yes, to let it go. But it lingers and it lingers. This is something that I would like to explore today. Nick Ortner is a founder of an organization called the Tapping Solution. He says that resentment is the smoldering, slow burn, the chronic caustic acid that slowly eats away at us from the inside out, affecting not only our relationships, but also our health. Sorry, can I go back? Yes. I'm trying to find back. Yes. The Dalai Lama speaks to us of how this kind of pain of the soul is not something that can be resolved by religion. It cannot be resolved by asking God to dissolve it. Resentment and pains of the soul are presenting themselves for each of us so that we as individuals can develop skills and tools to dissolve them ourselves. So this slide, if we read from the slide, so how do we let go of resentment? These first couple of points are presented by, what is his name? Dyer. Yes. Wayne Dyer. Yes. Before he passed in recent years, he spoke so much about resentment and pain and the need for us to let it go. And he suggested to us to end on love, no matter what, rather than leaning on old patterns of hurt and revenge, to find in the other as your brother, your kindred spirit. And he says, practice giving rather than taking in your interactions with others. End on a phrase of love and respect rather than to prove your point or to sit in ego. And this for each of us is going to be difficult, for our place that we have carved out is always so ensconced in a sense of ego. We develop our characters and our persona, and we want to reinforce that always. Wayne Dyer suggests that we be a giver of forgiveness. Where there is injury, let me bring pardon. They're from the words of St. Francis of Assisi. To bring light and love to darkness, to sow the seeds of love and compassion, especially for yourself. Another way of letting go of resentment is to visualize, to meditate, and to pray. As the Dalai Lama says, and Thich Nhat Hanh as well, so much it is our individual practices. Everyone in every community throughout the world is bound to each other. We know that we are community. We know that we are social beings. And so it is that they all suggest that we listen to ourselves, that we listen to each other, that we listen to our bodies, and that we educate. That we educate ourselves. This is not a religious or spiritual issue. This is an issue for each of us as human beings to find joy in our everyday. And so reading the last one, to listen and feel your body's response to a person, an event, a set of circumstances from the past. Oh, so sorry. Can't see. Reminding that your past is your present, especially when it is left unresolved in your body, mind, and spirit. Acknowledge the pain, the presence of the feelings that are in you, and your body signals to you that it may be that the signal is in you to let you know that maybe it is time. It is time that we gave it due attention. And I suggest that we find tools that can help rid the toxin and the energy blockages. Can I throw this open to someone, anyone? Can we explore the feelings that we have when we feel resentment or unresolved light from another? Yes. Gigi, Gisele, what is it? Yes. Yes.
So what's the question?
So the question is, where is resentment in a situation? Can you think of one specific, each of us, think of one particular situation or person or circumstance that leaves resentment in our hearts and in our minds and in our body? And can you explain that feeling? Yes.
Yeah. So I think I can relate it to. We are having a little bit of echo. Echo. Small little situations I can relate it to. Can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In my personal life, and then since I think as we mature, get older, we deal different with that. But if I think about even when I was growing up as a child, situations like my being ditched by your friends, not being invited for some events, things like this. And so it's all related to me to the perception of we have of ourselves, of our importance in our ego, right? So that's what the importance we give to those things that make that resentment feeling be present there, and could in the past be quite severe, like making me very sad for being left behind or left aside. Just one situation now, but nowadays is a little bit different. But I think that's the feeling of not being appreciated, That's
yes. So where does, when you think of it, when you are touched by its memory, where does it emanate from in your body?
I would say that this is pretty much related to the solar plexus chakra.
Yes.
That's how I feel it, and that's I think it relates to that function as well.
Yes, yes. Can anyone else identify an area in their body that pains when you recall such resentment or feelings of ill feeling, dis-ease? Yes.
For me,
yes.
I would say would be the same area, area that she said, like on this moment, like some like knock or something that is not settled. Also, when I have resentment towards someone or some situation, I would say on the head as well, you know, like a little head feeling on the front, like on third eye or something that makes me not able to sleep. I would say that.
Yes.
Yes.
For each of us and for each situation, it will be different. It will change constantly, especially when we are recalling such things from our past, from our long distant past, from a child's perspective. We can say, as Gisele was speaking, as we grow older, we learn to live with it. This is a point that needs to be highlighted. For it is in living with it that we commit to bogging ourselves down with another memory, with another relationship, with more and more feelings that haven't been dealt with, released from our body. Rather, we deal with it and we fill our bodies up. This is why our spiritual bodies, our spiritual connections are often so difficult, because our own physical bodies are toxic. Yes. It is a situation that can be, I guess, fixed, remedied, if we see psychologists, or if we sit and pray, as Thich Nhat Hanh says, breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. And be mindful. Be aware of what this toxin is doing to you and release it in love. This is extraordinary. He encourages us to be mindful with our steps as we walk. This is difficult. This is a committed sense of, what is it? Meditative life. It is not for all of us. It can be at particular times in our lives when we go bushwalking or when we go to the park and we are given opportunity to sit quietly in the quiet of our homes. But sometimes it is so difficult and it gets away from us, especially when we are considering the number of resentments that we have harbored in our lives over our lifetime. I'm just going to go back to the screen. So we are uplifted by techniques such as Ho'oponopono. When we dwell in our hearts and in our minds on the other, on ourselves, we thank you and we love you. Please forgive us. But again, so often we do not dwell for long enough on this, and we do not flesh out the individual situation that allows the toxin to remain in our system. One particular remedy, no, it is a technique or a tool, is called the EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique. And it is that I would like to explore today. And if it is okay, to do a meditation using EFT and to draw your attention to this tool, as it may be something, it may not, but it may be something that is helpful for you, especially if we do it on a regular basis. I'm leaving this on here. I'm speaking now. Hello, everyone. It's an overview. Just a sec. Can you get rid of these guys here? No. Oh, okay. Go get just a sec. Sunny's just showing us something here. I can't read this section here. There we go. Yes, yes. Can we pull that down?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Sorry, we're having a few moments here. There we go. Okay, great. Tapping is called emotional freedom techniques, and most people know it as tapping. It is psychological acupressure technique used to improve emotional health and well-being. In a world where modern medicine looks to pills to fix us, the emotional health of the body is so overlooked. Emotional health is essential to your physical well-being and healing, no matter how dedicated you are to proper diet and lifestyle. If the emotional barriers remain, you will not access your body's healing and preventative powers. The human, sorry, go back, sorry, thank you. The human body is a network of electrical circuits that run along a specific network of channels. I love the science in this technique, so please be patient as we read this for you. These are your energy meridians. EFT or tapping uses these same meridians used in traditional acupuncture to treat, or acupressure to treat emotional and physical ailments for over 5,000 years. So just as we have drawn upon the ancients of Hawaii with Ho'oponopono, these are the ancient techniques of the Chinese and other Asian cultures that have also delved into these acupressure points. Instead of using needles, simple tapping with the fingertips is used on specific meridians on the upper body while focusing on a specific problem, whether it's an event, a physical pain, or a specific issue such as resentment. While tapping, you voice the negative emotions you're feeling about the problem and then switch to positive affirmations. The combination of tapping while voicing how you're feeling works to clear the emotional block from your body's energy system. And this will help to restore your body's healing ability, which is essential for optimum health and well-being, and your thinking. Your thinking is so often distorted because of the chemical imbalances and the blockages in your bodies. The unique thing about tapping is that it's accessible every day, all day. Since you apply the technique to your own body, the power to heal for you is back in your own hands. You are in control. Okay, can we play this?
Yeah. So just make sure 1 second.
Okay.
Just make sure.
Hi everyone, this is Nick Ortner, New York Times bestselling author of The Tapping Solution. In this short video, I'm going to explain to you what exactly tapping is, give you a brief demonstration, and let you know how you can apply it to your life. So tapping, otherwise known as EFT or Emotional Freedom Technique, is a technique that combines ancient Chinese acupressure and modern psychology. And we call it tapping because we are literally tapping on endpoints of meridians of our body while saying certain statements. It's certainly a funny looking technique. I felt it was funny and strange when I first
Can you
discovered
pause
it,
for
but it is so powerful.
Sorry. Are we good? Are we good to go?
No, this video is gonna guide us through the technique.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna put everyone near to this little sound box here, because the sound is not is a bit low, so we can hear it concentrated. Just give us a minute.
Okay,
So,
sorry. Okay, the sound is bad. Okay, so how do I start that again? Exactly. And we'll just start from the beginning.
play again.
Okay, we're good to go.
Hi everyone, this is Nick Ortner, New York Times bestselling author of The Tapping Solution. In this short video, I'm going to explain to you what exactly tapping is, give you a brief demonstration, and let you know how you can apply it to your life. So tapping, otherwise known as EFT or Emotional Freedom Technique, is a technique that combines ancient Chinese acupressure and modern psychology. And we call it tapping because we are literally tapping on endpoints of meridians of our body while saying certain statements. It's certainly a funny looking technique. I felt it was funny and strange when I first discovered it, but it is so powerful on everything from pain relief to financial issues to weight loss issues to limiting beliefs about yourself, about your life, to just overall stress. Tapping is proving to be extraordinarily effective. And it works. What the latest research has shown is that it works because as we tap on these endpoints of meridians while focusing on the stressful issue, the challenge, whatever's going on in our life, we actually send a calming signal to the amygdala in the brain. The amygdala is that very ancient fight or flight response center in the brain. So we are in essence desensitizing ourselves to the stress, turning off that amygdala, turning off that stress signal, rewiring the way the brain works, the way the limbic system reacts, the way the whole body reacts to the stressful challenge. So let's have a very quick experience of it. 3 steps. Step number 1, identify what you want to tap on. One of the first ways to get started, the easiest ways I find, is to pick a physical pain or tension or stress in your body. So if your back hurts, pick that. If your shoulders are tight, you can roll around your neck and see there's some tension there. Pick whatever's going on in your body. And we've identified what we want to tap on, and if it's nothing physical, pick stress. Pick something that's bothering you specifically, something you're angry about, something you're frustrated about. So we have our target, then we give it a number on a 0 to 10 scale. 10 being highest in intensity, 0 being not there at all. So you'll say, I have back pain, it's at a level 7. And then we're going to do some tapping on it. Now we're going to use very general language just to guide you through the process, and you can just repeat after me. As long as you have the intention to focus on your specific issue, you'll get the results you want. So we start by tapping on the side of the hand. It's called the karate chop point. One hand taps on the other. Doesn't matter which hand you use, whatever feels comfortable, and repeat after me. Even though I have this stress in my body, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. We're going to do that 2 more times. Even though I have this stress in my body, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And last time, even though I have all the stress in my body, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now tapping through the points. The first point is the eyebrow point, inside of the eyebrow, right where the hair ends and it meets the nose. Just tap 5 to 7 times and say, this stress. Side of the eye, not at the temple, right next to the eye, one side or both sides, this stress. The meridians run down both sides of the body. Now under the eye, this stress, so you can do one hand or the other hand or both. Under the nose, this stress. Under the mouth, above the chin, below the lip, right in that little crease in there, this stress in my body. 3 points left. Feel for the 2 little bones of the collarbone. Go down an inch, out to each side about an inch. You can tap with all 10 fingers of both hands, all the stress in my body. Now underneath the armpit, 3 inches underneath the armpit, right on the bra line for women, either side of the body, all the stress. And now where we look like monkeys, right at the top of the head, all the stress in my body. And we take a deep breath and let it go. And that is one quick, super quick round of tapping. The process is checking back in. What happened? What did you feel? What shifted? What's come up next? And continuing the tapping process until you get the relief that you want. Have a great day and keep tapping.
Okay, how can I stop that now?
Hi everyone, this is Nick Ortner, New York Times bestselling.
Okay, now we're going to do So, the tapping process. Initially, we close our eyes and identify the emotion. We rate the intensity of that feeling or pain on a scale of 1 to 10. And we make a statement, acknowledging the issues and accepting and loving yourself. For example, a statement could be, even though I have this frustration, resentment concerning my friend, I deeply and completely accept myself. Remember, it only pertains to how the problem makes you feel. Then we tap on it using the 9 main points. You then, after the session, you rate the intensity of that feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. And through all that process, the forgiveness for yourself, your forgiveness for the other will automatically show itself. It's the act of releasing the chains that are keeping us bound in a prison of our own design. We know it is time. So these are the tapping points. I'm actually just, can I say that? I'm actually just showing these quickly so that you can go back later if you want to check on them. They're the tapping points. And these are the karate chop is the side of the hand, and it actually relates to the small intestines. And it actually shows you what you need to do. The eyebrow relates to the bladder, the side of the eye is the gallbladder, etc. And then this one as well, under the nose is the governing vessel, the central meridian is the chin, collarbone is your kidney, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it is that we are given opportunity this night to just quieten our minds and to maybe do this meditation, this guided meditation by Jessica Ortner. She does a beautiful job. I wanted to do the meditation myself, but it was going to be a bit difficult. So I would like for everyone to sit and to watch and to participate, if it is okay with you, to participate in this meditation. It is about resentment. It is about something that is personal to you. It is something that I am unfamiliar with in each of your lives. I know that you all are so much older than I am. That is a joke, but it is for all of us, whether we are young or old, to gather up the experiences of life, whether they be painful or joy-filled, but the residue of the negative emotions and experiences reside with us. And this is what I would like to at least experiment on today. So can we once again be patient, and I am up for a tapping session myself. My body is a bit challenged tonight. Yes, so let us go.
For those who are listening, think about someone or something you have to forgive. It could be a person, or you could be mad at life, at an event. Whatever it is, notice what it is for you, and think about the resistance you feel to forgiving. Notice if there's any resistance in your body, something that just doesn't feel quite comfortable with forgiveness, and measure that resistance on the 0 to 10 scale. So 10 being really high, like I just don't want to do it, and 0 feeling ready to make that choice. Notice what that number is for you. And let's all start together by taking a nice deep breath in and exhale. And Scarlett, if you can also tap and repeat after me, that would be great.
Oh, I have my thing.
You know, you love it. All right, so let's tap on the side of the hand. Repeat after me. Even though part of me knows.
Even though part of me knows.
That forgiveness would be good for me.
That forgiveness would be good for me.
Another part of me.
Another part of me.
Really doesn't want to.
Really doesn't want to.
And I accept all of these parts of me.
And I accept all of these parts of me.
Even though part of me wants to forgive.
Even though part of me wants to forgive.
And another part of me just feels so hurt.
And another part of me just feels so hurt.
I accept all of these parts of me.
I accept all of these parts of me.
Even though I have this resistance to forgiveness.
Even though I have this resistance to forgiveness.
I accept how I feel.
I accept how I feel.
And I choose to begin to look at this in a new way.
And I choose to look at this in a new way.
Tapping on the eyebrow point, repeating after me. Part of me wants to forgive.
Part of me wants to forgive.
Side of the eye. And part of me isn't ready.
And part of me isn't ready.
Under the eye, because I'm so hurt.
Because I'm so hurt.
Under the nose, I'm so angry.
I'm so angry.
Under the mouth, this shouldn't have happened.
This shouldn't have happened.
Collarbone, and I'm holding on to this pain.
And I'm holding on to this pain.
Under the arm, because what happened was wrong.
Because what happened was wrong.
Top of the head, part of me believes.
Part of me believes.
Eyebrow, that if I forgive this person.
That if I forgive this person.
Side of the eye, I'm saying that what they did was okay.
I'm saying that what they did was okay.
Under the eye, is that really true?
Is that really true?
Under the nose, how is the lack of forgiveness impacting me?
How is the lack of forgiveness impacting me?
Under the mouth, holding on to this is exhausting.
Holding on to this is exhausting.
Collarbone, and it leaves me feeling powerless.
And it leaves me feeling powerless.
Under the arm, I feel like my energy is drained.
I feel like my energy.
Top of the head, and I'm open to doing things differently.
And I'm open to doing things different.
Eyebrow, because holding on is hurting me.
Because holding on is hurting me.
Side of the eye, and I want freedom.
And I want freedom.
Under the eye, I want my power back.
I want my power back.
Under the nose, this isn't about them.
This isn't about them.
Under the mouth, it's about me.
It is about me.
Collarbone, and my desire for freedom.
My desire for freedom.
Under the arm, I am open to forgiveness.
I'm open to forgiveness.
Top of the head, I'm willing to think about it.
I'm willing to think about it.
Eyebrow, I don't need to do it perfectly.
I don't need to do it perfectly.
Side of the eye, and I don't need to do it all at
I
once.
don't need to do it all at once.
Under the eye, but I am open to forgiveness.
But I'm open to forgiveness.
Under the nose, because I want my power back.
Because I want my power back.
Under the mouth, I want my life back.
I want my life back.
Collarbone, this is about me.
This is about me.
Under the arm, feeling open to forgiveness.
Feeling open to forgiveness.
Top of the head, feeling open to this process.
Feeling open to this process.
All right, take a nice deep breath in. And exhale. And just notice how that felt. Notice how your body feels. Maybe your jaw is more relaxed or your shoulders are down. And like Scarlett said, it's not about doing it all at once. It's not about doing it perfectly. It starts with that openness to start that journey.
Was it?
For those who are listening,
Sorry.
think about someone or something you have to forgive.
Sorry. So it is forgiveness that I guess is the bottom line for all of us. Holding on to resentment is harming each of us in so many ways. And so the meditation takes us through to that final point of setting us free. But we are setting us free. The meditation isn't. It is our minds and our hearts that are committed to the process. But at the same time, our bodies are dismantling the amygdala, dismantling the neural pathways that find, what is it? It is that sense that we find almost a false sense of power by holding on to resentment. But the tapping, as has been explained, it releases that hold of the amygdala, that fight and flight and freeze response that we activate so often in our everyday. We are so defensive. By going through the meditation and tapping, what we find is a sense of peace. And as the presenter just explained, it may not be that we are released of that resentment with that particular individual or situation, but over time, if we tap and commit to meditative responses to this, becoming mindful is taking what is it? It is a greater presence in our everyday. Yes. Any responses to the meditation? Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was a bit funny, to be honest.
Yes.
You know that I'm a person that is still trying to meditate with help of G. But yeah, like it does feel that God helped to what's the word? Concentrate a little bit more, you know, put focus on what I'm saying, because I'm kind of touching something, not just thinking about it. I think for me, I would say it was easy to concentrate in what I was saying and the energy that tapping would bring to the point of energy that I was touching it. But the one under the armpit and the head, it does sound funny, like because we do the play with the kids, the monkey, and they remind me of those games that we do with all the kids. But like, I think it's a good start and a good way to help like people like me that sometimes have hard time to really just focus on the thinking and meditate, to have something physical to do while saying the words to release and then, you know, learning to let it go. That's for me. Anyone else have any comments?
Yep. With me, I felt it does relax, because if you think about when we stress, where we're frowning our head, it's that's the muscles that work, and then I felt when I was tapping helped my body, my muscle to really drop. So I have a neck pain, and I could feel releasing in my neck because I was releasing from top down. So it does. It's like teaching the body to let go. That's how I felt. So I was teaching my face and my head, my neck to just relax, because when we think, oh, I need to relax, we cannot relax because you're thinking about relax. But tapping, it's releasing slowly, and that's how I felt with the tapping, releasing all the muscles around my face, which helped with my neck. So it's letting all go. So it was pretty good. Thank you.
Great.
To
Anyone
me,
else? Yes.
To me, it was like at the end feeling really the energy flowing better. So I do practice acupressure yoga, which is similar, the same meridians and nadis that we press with the same relation to the organs. But it's more static. You just press and then you meditate through while you're pressing. In tapping, you really activate more energetic level, I think. So at the end, I can feel the thrill of the energy.
Brilliant. Yes. Jackson, are you okay?
Yes, I am.
Great.
My issue is to find someone in my memory who I have resentment
Would be next to you.
Yes. Now, but this is one thing that I am trying to have in my life now is no resentment. It's really.
But it's interesting. Like we, as I was saying before, we grow and we hide very deep those things. You may try not to be gathering those feelings now, but in our past we all have those experiences, not only resentment but much other experience that bring that negative energy and block our chakras and block parts of our body that this technique is trying to then release. So that little meditation in the beginning that she said, you just try to find in your body the point where it's not a comfort. When you have that intention to go deep and go to those memories that you don't really surface very often, but we get the intention to do it, then you may get that memory back, from that very childhood or from some event in your life. And that's why we get that memory back, and that's where you work on them, So it's just really being open to go there, because we don't want to go there. We think that we buried that and we don't want to go there anymore. Why am I going to go there? I'm living good now. But the fact that we are not, so that experience in life back then is blocking something in your life now. You may be sure of that. So this type of technique, there's other techniques that also deal with chakra in a similar way. Those are important that we do to really clear our body. And people who do that, really they report benefits in very many aspects of their lives.
Yes. Yes.
Waking up open those cabinets and take those skeletons out. You need to be prepared.
Yes. It is. Yes.
One way to get prepared for that is getting old. It's getting old. Because then when you bring this back, you see it in a different way, and then you can overcome them. That's
you need to release them.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah, you release that. That's what happened. But if you're not prepared to release them and you wake them up,
yes.
I'm not sure if it's good.
Louise.
But you need to get prepared for that, and then wake them up.
Yes.
Wake them up.
Louise Hay says that when we are cleaning, we actually have to honor the dust and the dirt. We have to honor it and recognize it. We have to look at it in its grubbiness and embrace it and say, thank you for being here, but it's time to go. But you do have to recognize it. And it is for each of us, yes, to embrace the opportunity. When we smell something, it may take us back to a moment that we haven't resolved. When we taste something, it may draw us into a memory. And it is these small things, when we are finding ourselves presented with the feelings of the past or even the present, to release the need to judge, release the need to go into resentment or anger or whatever it is, and to tune our bodies into, I guess it is dismantling the amygdala. The amygdala was so important tens of thousands of years ago when we needed to be on edge. We needed to fight. We needed to protect. We needed to be on guard. But we do not need it these days. And yet we are drawn to the negative. We are drawn to holding on to that which is dastardly or mean. And we don't forget. in most of our memories, we are clinging on to those things that are negative. So it is, we are given opportunity to seize the resentment, to seize that which is negative, and one by one cleanse it. By this method, I sense it is quite comforting because our bodies are truly relaxing into the mode. So many are able to work through PTSD and chronic illness because we honor the feelings, we bring them up, we don't discuss them, we don't delve into them that much, but we honor them. And we process their chemical presence in our bodies and the chemical imbalance and say, we are ready to release. We are ready to forgive ourselves for holding on to them for this long. We are ready to forgive. Yes. Last week, who was it? It was Di. You presented on Joanna DeAngelis.
Yes.
And she said what did she say? What was the, just.
I bring a lot of her life.
He said to have atonement with our past. Atonement is our past. If you break down the word atonement, we can look at it and see at one-ment with our past. So we are one with our past because it is present in who we are today. What we hold on to is present in our day, present in our everyday. If we are bitter and we are uncomfortable and we are on edge and we are superficially, we are happy, we are coping. But as soon as something happens, we break. We are unable to find a reason. And so it is, Joanna DeAngelis says to us, be at one-ment with our past. Atonement is not to pay for your sins, but to look at our past and to say, it's okay. We love our past because our past brought us to this point. And it is this that gives us reason to celebrate, gives us reason to be mindful, because we are given tools to cleanse and to be free.
Look, I have a question.
Yes.
Something that's, yeah, right. We're talking about our resentment. However, how can we deal with injustice and react to injustice? Not in a vengeful way, not in a way that we end up with resentment, but still act against or react on injustice. How can we
Yes.
do it?
So injustice is part of what resentment is. Resentment is that mindset that there is inequality, that there is something that we have or someone else has been hard done by. It is the judgment that you have made that suggests that judgment or punishment needs to be enacted. But is lifting resentment and forgiveness for the other, especially when the other is probably not going to be sorry, especially when the other is possibly not even going to get it? Do we burden ourselves till we die with this sense of, oh, I'm drinking this poison, but you're not getting it? What is the point of this? It is in releasing. I have another another meditation, but we do not have time, I am sure. But maybe we can do it another time. But it is exactly this. We do not forgive the other because we ourselves will be forgiven, but we forgive the other for ourselves, to allow ourselves to allow the other to grow, to allow the other to find their divine, what is it? I always say it. It is about divine process. The other will find their process, will enact it in their own time. But to force that judgment on the other and to say, you need to pay for your sins. Yes, there is action and reaction and response to that which is supposedly not in tune with social standards. But it is not for us to hold on to their learning. In fact, it is for us to learn from this, for we will continually be shown injustice. But is it injustice? Is it just divine process? We are getting hung up by processes of others, and yet we are binding ourselves with toxins that are clouding our judgment. When we are given opportunity to confront another, maybe it is that we need to tap or to sit in meditation or to sit in prayer before we make that confrontation or that connection with someone that we are not at peace with, so that we are not acting or speaking from the amygdala, that we are not speaking from a place that is aggressive, that is on the front foot, that is going to demand this or that. For that is operation in fear, operation that is trying to control the situation.
Colin, I was not really much talking about from my point of view, from an individual point of view. But for example, seeing injustice in like children being mistreated, elderly being exploited, right? And you looking and seeing this, right? I think this is what I'm talking about. Looking from Jesus' point of view, because he was the master of suffering, self-injustice, being just from the individual point of view. But I don't think he was complacent when he saw injustice on others. I mean, I'm probably not the word is complacent, but passive. So this is quite hard to think, because it's not really, if it's us, we can suffer and you can say, you know, Jesus, God, you know, forgive them, they don't know what they do, right? But when we see justice in others, when you're not the victim, you are the moral victim, looking at that, how do we deal with that?
So what is the pain in your heart? What is the pain in your soul?
It's in looking and seeing this injustice.
And yet those that are hurt will in turn hurt others. So the ones that are perpetrating crimes of such nature that you are speaking, can you say that they are coming from a place of light? and love? Or are they lost souls? There is a temptation for us all to be dragged into the human drama. Yes, we need to pass. We all need to pass into the next realm. The way in which we pass is kind of creative. Some of us will pass by a reckless driver running us down in the street. So it was that he is responsible for us passing. Is this something that is tragic, or is it something that is like a tool? Our passing is meant, or our, what is it? Our difficulties, our challenges in life are not to be judged by a sense of emotional drama. This is that sense that you love to speak about, Jackson, is detachment. I know you are drawn into that sense, as we all are, by the terrible situations in nursing homes, in orphanages, in jails, in those places that are behind closed doors. These are the dramas that we experience as human beings. But do we judge another because they have been living a life of hell and are then driven to shoot down children in a school? How can we judge another because they have acted out in pain and suffering? You condemn the action, yes, but you love the perpetrator. Do we shack up with or rent a house with them? No. For we do not love that which they have done. But we extend and we break down all barriers to extend as much love and compassion to all those that are involved. Do we condone the action? No. But what happened to that individual that made them do such things? Do we then look at our society and go, how did we allow this to happen? How did that person come through with such pain in their lives? Why weren't we there? Why didn't we listen before this happened? Yes, we are moved to tears by the innumerable events that are painted as tragic. But let us use them as mirrors to the way we live and what we do with our time, as mirrors to what we think, and remove those sentiments of judgment, remove the sentiments of bigotry, remove the sentiments that we are better than they. Why did they do it? No. Why was it that we are living in a society where such things can happen? Maybe we can do more to love our brother that is in pain. The children suffer, yes. The women suffer, yes. The elderly suffer, yes. We all suffer. On a scale of 1 to 10, it doesn't matter. But if we are given opportunity to uplift in love, uplift them all and refuse to be drawn into the visualization. We always go down that path, don't we? We are visualizing how bad it must have been. Oh, how tragic. How harmful it has been. Yes, It is harmful, but life continues in its creative and splendid way, giving opportunity after opportunity for people to grow from situations like this. And that is marvelous. The COVID thing is marvelous for what it has given each of us in a sense of compassion. Those countries that have been devastated by the goings on have seen such splendid works of love and compassion and hard work. And yes, we uplift them all of them, even those that make it difficult for others. Yes. Is that on the right track, do you think, Jackson?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So let's just take this opportunity because we are being over and then uplift those that may suffer all the resentment and do our prayer for us. Take it back for us, please. I'll just give you 1 minute just to pray for that. So let's take this moment and put in practice what we just listened here tonight.
Let us breathe deeply and quieten our hearts and our minds and our bodies. Breathing in light and love. Allowing the breath to dissolve the anguish and pain in our hearts and in our minds and in our bodies. Healing light of love. The creative creator. We are truly blessed by the opportunity to join with you, to join with the angels and the saints, those that have joined us in spirit. Our spiritual team, you are unswerving in your commitment, and we honor your presence. We thank the ancients that are always present in our everyday. As we tread this earth, we acknowledge the caretakers. We thank those that have gathered for solace, for some kind of answer, for some kind of consolation. Our words are so often missing the mark, but our hearts are uplifted by our presence together, and we uplift our souls together. To celebrate the presence of those that we love, to celebrate the presence of those around the world, to celebrate the earth in all its messiness, in all its splendor, in all its craziness. We honor the presence of those that are in our hearts, that we put forward, that we honor, that we have taken the time to uplift in prayer. We honor their journeys and we surround them in love. We surround them with a sense of peace. You are with us as we are with you. We release the need to hold on to judgments and resentments. We release the need to buy into that drama, for we are one in spirit. And we dissolve this night, this moment, with the energies of light and love to bring us to that point of oneness and delight in our oneness. We thank you, Jesus, for your constant guidance and your presence in our lives. We thank you, Pedro Emmanuel, for leading up a team that is splendid. We know that you are present with us, and we thank you. May this week be awe-inspiring. May it bring us to a point of mindfulness. May we be aware of our feelings. May we honor them. May we uplift them. May we release our bodies, toxins. May we release it all in love, so that we may be better in our prayer, more connected with light and life, with each other, with everything around us. We thank you for all that is. Amen.
Thank you for the presentation, share of love, and present so beautiful opportunities to us to learn and keep trying. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if you guys could just sit in silence while the workers get ready.